I'm Gabby Anderman, and this is my daughter,
Sabine Kale.
Sabine Kale. And tell them how old you are.
I'm 8.
And I'm older than she is. And we collaborated on this project together. We collaborated on these two. We're actually surrounded by our paintings. I got asked a few months ago to do this show, and I kept trying to think what I wanted to do, who I wanted to collaborate with. And one morning I was walking in my house, and I have a painting up that I did in 2010. And it was just after she was born, and it's a painting of me pregnant, and I'm looking very greenish gray, and I'm pregnant, and the baby inside is glowing, but it's like a head that's sort of disjointed from the body, and it's me being pregnant and being nauseous the whole time when I was pregnant. And I thought, well, how interesting would that be if we sort of revisited that work, but with the two of us, and now she's out of my body, and we just collaborated together on a painting and sort of used that as the inspiration. And so this was the first piece that we worked on together, which was sort of me in the same position as the original painting, but with her adding all of her sort of additions to it. And so that's what I decided to do. I decided to ask her if she wanted to collaborate with me on this project, and we did. We started, the next maybe a week after that or something, working in the studio, drawing, and then painting, and it sort of expanded, and we started doing a few paintings, and we started doing some small drawings together. We did some drawings together. Yep. Yeah, there's some of this stuff. So then we started working together, and just to describe the process, I gave her a blank sheet, and you just added, I said draw on the sheet, and so she started putting drawings in, and you can see some of hers still peeking through, and then I would do some drawing on it, and then she got to paint on it, and then I got to paint on it, and then she went back in and would draw, and then I would go back in and draw, and so we just collaborated back and forth until we got to the final project.
Well, it was fun because I don't really ever get to work in the studio with her, and I never really get to work on huge pieces of paper, and it was fun. I just did whatever came to my mind.
So we knew from the beginning that it was sort of a mother-daughter sort of theme, and but that I told her that she's free to do whatever comes to her, because I wanted her to be able to just draw and create from her heart, right? Yeah. So the pencil are Prismacolors, and I just love Prismacolors. I have for years been working with those. They're really soft, and the colors they have 1,000 colors. And so we started with Prismacolors, and then I also love to start with charcoal as well, so I use various charcoal pencils, and she could use them too, but I don't think she used them much. She mostly used the Prismacolors. And then I work in acrylic, and I use some mediums as well. And so there's some of the mediums that I use either extend the paint or add a grit to it. And then I also have been using lately spray paint. And so I've been using, and that's where you'll see some spray paint and I'll use lace and put that down, and I have other different kinds of stencils and things, but for this project I used a lot of lace because somehow that was just coming to me, and a lot in these, my mother was coming through as well. My mom just passed 2 years ago, and I could feel like my grandmother, my mother, and Sabine, so it was like this mother-daughter thing, but it felt generational to me. This, I feel like, is the daughter piece, and this, I feel like, wound up being the mother piece, and I gave them both these lace collars in the end. But those both started out as Sabine's idea. She is the one, do you remember that you started with lace around her collar? When you were doing this, you put lace around the collar, and I just continued with it. and finished the lace there. But that was all your idea. And I thought, oh, that's so great. To describe this, Sabine, you said you put this in there. What was that? No, yes. I loved that you put that in there. What was that about?
Oh, my Mom and Pop-Ups.
Mom and Pop-Up are her grandma and grandpa.
I saw this painting and it said no yes all over it. And then I just wrote it up there.
Who did that painting, the no yes painting?
You.
Yeah. So she was bringing in one of my I didn't realize that, but she brought in one of my. And then this, we finished, she put this in around
What?
Halloween, right?
Wait.
And this was sort of, I think I put that part
You
in.
put the ears and then the sunglasses on.
Well, it was more like a mask, because for Halloween, what were you for Halloween?
Kitty cat.
A kitty cat. And this one also says, this one underneath it says, mother, me. And this one says, daughter, me. And I don't know, for both pieces, I just felt like, yes, this is the daughter, this is the mother, but aren't we, like, we're all mother, daughter, mother, daughter, mother, daughter. And then, then we become the grandmother and then we pass on. But it felt like they were both me, and that this will eventually be her and this will eventually be her daughter. And so I really felt that generational thing. And in this, she had put both eyes closed, and she had done both eyes with the, you could see the lashes and they were closed. And I wound up opening one eye because that just felt to me like they're definitely at this age in like a dream state, so the eyes closed and they're just, in fantasy, but also the eye open because just so alert and aware and part of this world, so sort of halfway in between. So I felt like that. So this part here, I have a line coming from her mouth all the way down through to the belly. And in the original piece, I also had that, and it was sort of this connection of the, me coming through the belly, but there's also the breath. And I feel like that, in Hawaii, the aloha and the breath and giving life through the breath. And that's in so many traditions, I feel like, that life is given through the breath. And so just that connection somehow keeps coming through a lot of my paintings, to connect, her with me and that cycle, just our connection that we have. Yeah. And then other things, like I put masks on both of them. That's like a huge theme that I have going through a lot of my work, and it's just sort of the masks that we wear all the time in life, that we're constantly, sort of behind masks, and in childhood that isn't, happening. Probably why I just did like a half of a mask here, because in we're just developing those masks that we wear around all the time. So.
Oh, my favorite part is the cat ears.
Why?
Because I love cats.
And what's your favorite thing about this piece?
I like her mask. It's
Why?
cool. Because it's all blue and it's pretty and I like it. Yeah. I like working with my mom because it was fun and we could use all of the colors and stuff and like all different sizes of paper and stuff like that. Yeah, it was fun.
Picasso once said that it took him a lifetime to learn to draw like a child. I let her start both of the pieces, and then I would let her put her stuff in, and then I was learning from it. Like, oh yeah, don't be so tight. Allow it to, use a different medium in there. Like, and her painting that she did in here, this green and this purple, I couldn't even touch it because it was so perfect. The way that she did it, perfect in its imperfection.
I think I want to be an artist when I grow up.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.